Hey now. Okay, I'm working on Christmas cards, and I wanted to show you guys how I prep up my little backgrounds. As much as I appreciate the beauty of gorgeous paper stacks, I really like to make my own background papers. Either design them myself and print them, or do some sort of collage. So that's what we're doing. And all I did, this is just brown paper that came out of something that had been shipped to me. So it had been wrapped around something, and I saved it. And then this is that sort of iconic Christmas tissue that has the little sparklies in it that we've been seeing forever. And you know, it's the simplest thing in the world. I just collage that thing together, and I add a little extra glitter. So here is my Mondo bottle of Mod Podge. I think I'm going to go get another one. I can get, I don't know, 50 or 60% off on one regularly priced item. Hopefully these are regularly priced still, and I can get the discount. Because, I mean, that's 30 bucks right there. That'd be a fairly significant savings. So anyhow, all I do is just what you always do with Mod Podge, and I just paint it on, and I don't care about being sloppy or getting stuff on the back, because you're not going to see it. It's going to be glued down from the back. And then also this table. This is an old school Formica table. Nothing mars it, sticks to it, scratches it. It's the most amazing table surface I've ever worked on, and I just love it. And then check out the border. It's got this red wave border. It's an old, I don't know, probably from the early 50s, that had been in my grandfather's shop, and he brought it to me years ago. And I've just enjoyed it in every place I've lived in for quite a few years. So anyhow, so there we go. You just get it all mopped in like that. Then I've pre-cut this piece so that it will more or less fit on top. And just get slapped down. And just kind of press it down like that. Good. Now I'm going to go over the top with some more Mod Podge. This stuff is fairly, I mean, the tissue paper it's got a pretty good body. It doesn't tear up really easily, but you don't want to press too hard because you'll start tearing the paper, which actually can give you kind of neat effects, but it just makes it harder and harder to work with if you've got little bits of paper that are all over the place. So I try to just mop down some of the Mod Podge, get it all over. And when I'm done, I'm going to sprinkle some more glitter onto the wet Mod Podge and just leave her alone. Stuff dries real quick. I'll be able to use it when I get back this afternoon. My goal for today is to try to get all the rest of the cards finished that I am going to make this year. I don't know about selling them, but I've got lots and lots of YouTube friends out there whose addresses I've managed to acquire. So, if you're in my pink book of happiness with your address, you are going to get one of these, more than likely. If you aren't, I'll probably check your About page to see if you have, you know, mailing P.O. box information or whatever. And the way I'm going to do it is people who, you know, I interact with a lot, people who comment on my page. I'm going to go back and look at my comments and make sure I try to fold everybody in who watches my show and try to get a little greeting to everyone. So that's what I'm hoping to do. If I don't hate me. It means something bad probably happened, and my road to hell was yet again paved with good intentions. So, and then those of you who hosted me, or offered to host me even, when we were on our trip, I want to try to send everybody a little something extra. I'm not sure what yet, but something cool I'm going to try to get out. So those are my intentions, and we shall see if I can do this. So that's it. That's all you do. Now it's been sprinkled and it's been Mod Podged, and Now this just goes over to be dried. And I'm going to readjust my camera here so I can talk at your face a little bit. I'm in my pantry room. This was the smartest idea. This is the best idea that I've had in a long time, was cleaning the place out, making it functional, but also putting this little, I'm going to show you. You've seen it already probably, but putting this little table, you know, here in front of the window. I've got another window on that side and light coming in from the back. So, you know, as natural lighting goes, this is pretty darn good. I'm pretty happy with the way this is turning out. So I'm going to continue on. I'm going to try to show the different stages of putting those cards together and then, you know, mash it all together in a kind of sort of tutorial thing. So anyhow, talk to you guys later. Bye. After letting the big sheets dry, I marked the backs of the large sheets to roughly 4 by 6 in a grid, and then instead of cutting them out, I tore them out along the marking lines, more or less. So I've got these, I managed to get 8 out of that one section that you saw me make. So these will be affixed to the front of a 5 by 7 card. So I go in about 1 inch on both sides, and I like the tear, the way the torn looks, because these cards, let's see if you can see it. Yeah, they've got a decal edge, so I like that torn part. So that is how we make the background. Then what I do is I use my glue gun, and I usually make a line all the way around and maybe a couple squiggles in the center. Then that gets placed down onto the thing and pressed down, so that's easy. Then I'll show you, I take one of these little hoo-haws that you can get at a dollar store. That gets glued down here, and what I do is I just tap the glue in the center and then a tad on each end of these big ones, and then that gets glued down. Then the next thing I'm gluing down on this particular card is this greeting, the Merry Christmas greeting. I made this with a rubber stamp, and I tore it out and then used the Tim Holtz Distress ink to kind of distress up the sides. So after that, what I'm planning on doing is taking some of these snowflakes that I got at Dollar Tree, and they'll be affixed in here. And then I've got a collection of little flat back pearls and rhinestones and so forth, and then those will get affixed in there. And so now here's the finished product. It's the finished product. I chose rhinestones to put in the centers, and I used 3 different colors that kind of reflect the colors that are in the multicolor background. So I kept that theme going. I used some of these rhinestones that I picked up at Joanne or Michael, I guess Joanne. You'll notice that they have the little stick-em tabs on the back. I don't use those. I pull them off, and then I use a dab of hot glue. I just find that makes things lie down flatter and they stay on. This size of snowflake, they're glued on the back. You know, they come gummed on the back. These tend to hold on to the paper really nicely, but when I glue them to something like that glittered plastic snowflake, they don't want to stay, so I always dab glue on the undersides of those little points and in the center, and then I glue the whole thing down. So that, there you go! Merry Christmas to all! And maybe I'll show you a few more as I do them.